Welcome to our session on passwordless authentication and the common pitfalls to avoid. My name is Rahul Verma. I'm a principal PA manager in the Azure Core OS team. And with me is Abha Tipse.
I'm a PM on the same team.
So before we get started, can I get a quick raise of hands on how many of you have heard about the passwordless or vision before? Oh, great.
Awesome.
Pretty engaged audience. Um, and how many of you have actually started executing or deploying on the passwordless roadmap by deploying, say, Windows Hello or FIDO Authenticator? Okay. All right. Oh, this will help us focus on the right set of content. So we all know that passwords are bad, but let me qualify that statement as to why it's so bad. Well, passwords are symmetric secrets. They are reused across websites, they are prone to breaches, and they are prone to phishing. It's so bad that, according to industry reports, 81% of all security breaches leveraged passwords. And security breaches are costly. Per industry reports, about each security breach costs about $3.92 million. And not only that, it also leads to high support costs in enterprises. In fact, 40% of all support calls are based on password resets. Given that passwords are reused across different websites, even if you have a strong perimeter security in your enterprise, but if some other services gets compromised, which is outside of your enterprise is at risk. So what has been the industry response to this problem? So the industry response has been to come up with more complex passwords and more complex password management policies. These have become really frustrating for our customers or users. When you expect someone to write a 20-digit password in a small form factor like a phone, it becomes extremely inconvenient. And even the strongest passwords are out there can be easily phishable. Now, if we have found out that if we make something inconvenient for users, they find some ways around it. So one of the things that we have seen in the market is use of password managers. But that's simply shifting the target. Password managers are the new honeypot over there. Another thing that we have seen in the industry is multi-factor authentication. Passwords plus MFA are definitely more secure, but it's inconvenient to use. I think if with passwords and using a password plus MFA, you can get to 99%. You can prevent 99% of the attacks using passwords. However, the inconvenience and the complexity of usage is problematic. I was just told about an Android app in the Play Store wherein it auto-approves your Authenticator push notifications. So basically, the users are finding a way to work around the inconvenience. There must be a better way, and what is that? From Microsoft's perspective, this is what we call the passwordless authentication. If you look at the top right corner, that's where at the cross-section of a highly secure authentication type combined with usability and convenience, that's where we see passwordless authentication going. Now, let me take you through the four-stage process on how you can get your enterprise to become passwordless. So the first stage is to deploy password replacement offerings. What it means is to give users alternatives to use instead of passwords. This could be strong credentials like Windows Hello, FIDO, and Authenticator app. I'm going to deep dive in a later slide about this, but the idea is to give users an alternative, and secondly, to get them behaviorally used to it. Next stage is to reduce the user visible password surface area. What it means is looking at the customer's identity lifecycle right from the time when they bootstrap a new device or an account to password reset, to account resets, to recovery scenarios, all through the chain, eliminate all the places where passwords are used. One of the key ingredients over here is to have your line of business applications have single sign-on to all these strong credentials that we talked about deploying in stage one. As a result, what we see at the end of the day is passwords surface is not visible to the user, and they're oblivious to it. The next stage is to transition to a passwordless deployment. What it means is there is still a password in your cloud directory, but it's scrambled. The users don't know about it. Users don't interact with it. They don't ever rechange the password. They don't know that there is a password. This helps us achieve the end user promise. And the final frontier is to eliminate the passwords completely from the directory. That is, if you look at your Azure Active Directory, there are no passwords at all. And that leads us to the end goal of having a secure account without passwords. So let's dive deeper into what our password replacement offerings over here are. So in terms of passwordless authentication solutions, we have Windows Helle for Business, Microsoft Authenticator, and FIDO2 security keys. Each of these authentication types are strong credentials. What it means is it satisfies 2 of the 3 proofs of a true multi-factor authentication: who you are, what you have, and what you know. If you use these, you do not need a secondary proof, as they satisfies 2 proof of authentication. And just like there are horses for courses, each of these authentication type is suited to a specific persona in your enterprise. Windows Helle for Business is our premier enterprise log-on experience to Windows 10 devices. This is for everyday use, and you could use a facial camera or a fingerprint sensor to log on to Windows 10 devices. Microsoft Authenticator should be a story if you have non-Windows 10 devices in your setup. It is also very useful for bootstrapping other credentials and for recovery scenarios. While FIDO2 security keys are primarily meant for shared device usage. For instance, if you have kiosk users or frontline workers in your enterprise, say call center employees, or for that matter, where the user does not have a dedicated PC, the FIDO2 security keys are very instrumental. And another thing, we had some good, exciting announcement about FIDO2 security keys. In Q1 of next year, we are announcing hybrid support of FIDO2 security keys. So if you have not already deployed FIDO, you should feel empowered to do it. And another key announcement is that Windows Helle for Business is a certified FIDO2 credential now. So not only you can use Windows Helle for Business to sign into Windows 10 devices, but you can also use it to log on to websites and services that supports WebAuthn. So I think after that, I'll ask Abha to step in and take us through the rest of the slides.
All right. Thanks, Rahul. So I want to walk over to the next box in our passwordless journey, which talks about reducing the user visible password surface area. And this is really achieved by 2 things: single sign-on. So you try and reduce the number of credential prompts to your user as much as possible, wherever possible. That way they are trained not to enter their passwords over and over again. And if they see a suspicious activity where they are prompted, they know this is something funny. Or just use those credential prompts very effectively. Like if you need step-up authentication, or there are certain high-value resources that you're going for, or the users are trying to access, that's when you should prompt them for credential. But then even in those scenarios, try to use passwordless credentials there. And we've made it really easy for you to enable single sign-on for your line of business applications by the Microsoft Authentication Library, MSAL, as well as Web Account Manager APIs. So both of these are great tools for you to utilize in your line of business applications and reduce the number of credential prompts that you see. Now, if you are an enterprise that has a non-Microsoft or a custom IDP solution deployed, you can also leverage the WebAuthn APIs here, where you can use Windows Hello, which is a certified FIDO authenticator, as well as external security keys to enable that same secure passwordless mechanism to sign in to your line of business apps. Now, moving on to the third step in the passwordless journey is transitioning to a passwordless deployment. And that means you remove the areas for users to enter passwords in. Now, we are working really hard to bring this experience to enterprises, but what we have enabled right now is for the consumer audience or our MSA Microsoft accounts, you can actually try this experience out. So if you go to settings, there is a knob available for you to completely switch off passwords. So here on the right-hand side, you don't see a password credential prompt at all. And then you basically use Windows Hello for Business for your daily sign-in, along with your auth app for any type of MFA that you need. And this experience is available for the latest Windows Insider build. So if you guys have not tried it out, I highly encourage everyone to give this a try. And we'd love to hear feedback and your ask for getting this into the enterprise side as well. And then the last piece in this passwordless journey to get you to a really secure place is completely eliminating passwords from your identity directory. Now, there's a lot of pieces that need to be built before we get there, but this is ideally the goal that we want to achieve, where you get that strong credential and you don't have anything in your identity directory as an attack vector. So really what we want to get to is you start off with users not typing in their password, and you can achieve this promise by enabling all of these modern credentials that we have: Windows Hello for Business, the Microsoft Authenticator app, as well as FIDO 2 keys. Once you're able to do that, you transition to a place where they're not changing their passwords, and then eventually to a place where they just don't know their password anymore. So once you take it out from their directory, they don't encounter any issues. And that's where we kind of achieve the overall passwordless security promise. So we have a long way to go. We're still in between step 2 and 3 in the passwordless roadmap, but this is our ultimate goal, what we want to achieve. So now I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about some of the deployment considerations that you should think about if you're starting off in this passwordless journey. So it depends on where you are currently in your journey. So if you are an enterprise who is still starting to think about passwordless, think about how you're going to pitch this to your leadership. Some of the things that have been helpful for us to quantify this is the support costs, so the number of password reset costs. So that's a good way to quantify the value that passwordless authentication will bring. The other piece is the amount of breaches that happen and the cost that goes into that. So that's another thing that you can leverage to convince your leadership. And the third piece, I would say, is really a user-based. How do you make it convenient for them to get to their apps and get to their business as usual work as soon as possible, avoiding the number of hurdles. So what we've seen is people get used to using touch IDs on their phones or really convenient ways of signing in to their devices, and then they expect that to transition over to the enterprises as well. So think about your user population, how you can make them more productive. Now, if you're already on the journey of passwordless and you are in the middle of deployment, think about what type of devices you have in your environment. Are they Windows Hello capable? Think of getting devices which have TPM chips in them. They are Windows 10 devices with some type of biometric capability or fingerprint sensors on them that will get that seamless user experience that you want for the users. They'll be delighted, and that will also increase your productivity. Now, if you're in the middle of Windows Hello for Business deployments, there's a lot of flavors that we offer. So think about the use cases that your users really need. Are they tried to S-MIME, or do they need to do remote desktop capabilities? Things like that will determine what type of deployment model you should choose. If you're an enterprise who's considering moving from on-premises deployment to hybrid deployments, I would highly encourage you to take a look at the hybrid deployment model for Windows Hello for Business and look at the key trust deployment model, because that's more of a future-looking deployment model there. Another thing to consider for your enterprise upgrades is when you're upgrading your Active Directory. So if you are in the process of in the next 6 months, 8 months, doing a refresh of Active Directory, think about all of the passwordless credentials that we have to offer, what fit your organization, and what are the minimum requirements that Microsoft has for each of these technologies. So most of these technologies work with the Windows Server 2016 and having the latest patches on your server. So make sure you're thinking about that once you're planning your deployments. And then let's get into some common pitfalls that we've seen at Microsoft as well as heard a lot about from our customers as well. So one of the key pieces that holds people back from really achieving this passwordless milestone is the line of business app. There is a lot of legacy applications out there. So you need to think about taking accountability of which are the critical apps that you need and which of them can be modernized to leverage these credentials. So that is one of the key pieces that we've seen organizations struggle with. And we have a lot of good resources, MSAL, WAM APIs, which can help you move your apps to a modern state. Think about recovery options as well. So the less people remember passwords, the less people use passwords, the more likely they are to forget those passwords. So think about deploying self-service password reset so that once people are forgetting their password, they have an easy automated way to reset also deploy multiple strong credentials. So don't deploy just one strong credential, because let's say you lose your phone, or if your TPM gets busted, you should have a way to recover that strong credential. So make sure your users have multiple ways to get back into the system. And then the last step is when you're trying to go passwordless, identify the different personas in your organization. Think of a small set of pilot users that can truly go passwordless, that has those line of business applications that are modernized to use these credentials and get SSO, and try it out with that small subset of users, get some learnings, and then move forward with that journey. So these are the kind of things you should think about, or common pitfalls that we've seen from our customers. That said, we have a bunch of resources to help you out in this passwordless journey. So go to aka.ms/go passwordless to learn about all of the passwordless offerings that we have. You can also use the WAM APIs and MSAL to leverage the single sign-on piece in step 2 that I talked about. And after the session, please, if you have any questions, feel free to stop by. Or we also have the Azure AD booth on the Hub Expo floor, so feel free to stop by there. With that, thank you so much for being here.